Release the Kraken!
Greetings, fellow game designers. Ron here at Lame Duck Studios, and today we're going to be grabbing the Visual Studio component for our Unity series. Once again, this is a beginner tutorial, so if you already have Unity, Visual Studio, or any of those other components, you're welcome to skip along. But for those of you who are getting this at home and this is your first time, stay tuned, stick around. Okay, so first thing you want to do is hop over to visualstudio.microsoft.com. Conversely, you can go to Google and you can just type in Visual Studio. And then the top one right here is fine. You can also go to Downloads, whatever not. Okay, now there are some differences between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a more streamlined version. It's pretty much a compiler and a single code base, whereas Visual Studio, you can have multiple languages in there, you know, C++, C#, and all that good stuff. And it kind of comes with a more complete package, whereas code only has whatever you add to it. So if you're looking to streamline what's on your desktop, and you want to have, you know, the least amount of memory impact, Visual Studio Code is for you, but you're going to have to go ahead and find all of the components you need for whatever you're trying to develop. Whereas Visual Studio, it's a bit more bloated, but you won't have to dig as far or search as far for the pieces you need. So, up to you. You can also get it for Mac if you need that as well. Now, you can, of course, go ahead and download from here, but you do want to have a login and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and hit sign in. If you are one of my students, you are welcome to use your PCSB email. That will work just fine. It'll create a free account for you and use your R2D2 and your password as your login. So I recommend doing that. If you are not one of my students directly and you want to go ahead and grab this, you may need to create a new user account, and so on and so forth. Okay, just make sure that you do. If you need one, you can use another account. You can create one. And of course, if you want to create the account, you can. You can even use the same login that you used for your previous, Unity. I would recommend not using the same password because hackers. But hey, But if you create an account, it'll go through the motions of, what email you want. You can also use a phone number. You can also create a new email address if you want to. But again, there's no harm in using the one you used previously. Just add that in. So if I do Lame Duck Studios, for example. I can create a password. And then go ahead and add your birth date and everything here. Don't mind me, I'm going to go ahead and blur these. Once you do that, it will send a verification code to your email, which you will have to go retrieve. And then go to your Microsoft account email and get your verification code. Now, once again, if you're one of my students, you do not have to do this. You can use your PCSB email, and that is perfectly fine. You'll have to solve the little puzzle thingy. And then continue with whatever the other details are. I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. You can set up an organization if you need one, and whatever not. But once you have your account or you are logged in, I'm going to go ahead back to our page here. Once you go through all those motions, you can go ahead and sign in, and then you can download. Now, Visual Studio Community Edition is free. So you can see right here, free Visual Studio. Go ahead and click on that. You can also get to that here. You can hit the drop down and do the Community Edition 2019. Either one of these get you to pretty much the same place. So I'm going to hit free, and you can see you have this little pop-up here. Again, we're going to do the Community Edition. Hit download, and it'll bring you to the download page, and you'll get the download file indicator here. Go ahead and save that. And of course, I have Visual Studio already, but once it's done, you go ahead and hit run it. Okay. Once you hit or open the executable, you'll get this where it says, hey, we want to do some initial setup. Just say, hey, okay, continue. And it'll run through the process and download and install the packages. Now, I think I have community version 2017, so upgrading to 2019 isn't going to be that big of a deal. No time like the present, so I'm going to go ahead and update while I'm here. Once you have the installer going, it's going to open up here. Now, if you already have Visual Studio, you can just go to Modify, and you can get to here as well. So if you open up Visual Studio Launcher and you go to Modify, you'll get to the same area. Okay, and once you are here, you can go ahead and scroll down, and we want to go down to the gaming section and just grab our game development with Unity and check that. If you use other platforms like Unreal, you can add those as well. I personally use Unreal and the .NET framework and these. I'm going to add these later so I don't confuse you, but this is the one that you really want for the moment. And you can always come back and add stuff later, so don't have to worry about that. Go ahead and hit install. Take a survey. I don't care to take a survey. Just go ahead and let this install. And through the miracle of editing, it'll be done in like a few seconds. Okay, so Visual Studio has finished installing, and you can see right as it was done with that, it popped up with the login screen. So once again, if you are a Pinellas County student, you can use your PCSB login. Go ahead and hit sign in here. Okay, so once you get here, once again, you can use, if you are in the Pinellas County school system, you can use your R2D2, which is your 4-digit login, and then your @pcsb.org for your login. If you have your own email, you can put yours in there or whatever not. So I'm using Lame Duck, so I'll go ahead and do that. lameduckstudios@gmail. And next. If this is the first time using Visual Studio, it's going to ask you some questions like what kind of theme do you want? What development settings are you going to use? General's fine. If you only use C#, you can pick C#. If you're not going to use Unreal or you're not going to use other applications, since Unity only uses C#, you can pretty much just use C# here. General, just kind of leave it as general. If you're only doing C++, you can choose C++ and web development and so on and so forth. I'm going to leave it as general because I do multi-platforms, and that's fine. For your theme, scroll down, there's the dark theme. Everybody likes the dark theme. There's the light theme and a few other visual things here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose dark because why not? And then I will start Visual Studio. Now for the moment, I'm just going to start this without any code. I'm going to go ahead and do continue without code. And then this is your window with nothing in it. I'm going to go ahead and close this because we're pretty much good in here. And the next one, we're going to go ahead and actually open Unity and start building some projects. Now, if you want to modify, if you already have Visual Studio and you want to modify any of these, you can hit Modify, and it'll open up the same package installer window that we had earlier. So if you need to add on any components, you can do that here, and then you just modify. Okay, pretty easy. That's going to wrap it up for this video. In the next one, we're going to go ahead and start jumping into Unity and getting our bearings for the editor and what it's going to look like when we transition into Visual Studio from Unity. Okay, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, I'm getting into NFTs. Those are big these days. I was thinking about creating my own coin, but we'll get into that at a later date. But NFTs are pretty hot right now. I'm converting my artwork to NFTs. You can see my Rarible page right here. I've only got 4 items, but I'm adding one as they go. They're not cheap to make, so I gotta make them as they go. If you want to support the channel other ways, of course, there's Lame Duck Studios merch, which you can see right here on my Teespring store, as well as Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, I have my books up there under Bruce RF, which is my pen name. Life and Times of Donna Martin, as well as The Guardian's Path of Ascension. You can flip through those and see the reviews and yeah, grab a copy, read it, tell me what you think. It helps me out as an author. It also helps me out as, everything goes back into the stuff that I'm doing. So more content for you. If you want to keep up with me throughout the day or just kind of see what's going on in life, hit me up on Twitter under BruceRF1. Again, that is my pen name. If you want to see what's going on my blog, ronflowersjr.me, you can see what I'm writing about, what else is going on in life, difficulties that I have with my projects that I'm working on. A lot of my devlog stuff kind of goes there before it comes here, so it's another way of kind of getting into that. I do also have a Patreon where I release content early if you want to get access to things ahead of time, because most of the stuff that I produce, I do things on Sundays and I post on Wednesdays most often, but it goes to Patreon first, so it's kind of there usually a week or so ahead of time, and then it has a release schedule. So if you want to see things early, go there. Let's see, what else is going on? You can also follow me on Facebook under you can do the Lame Duck Studios Facebook or the Bruce RF Facebook. Both of those are available, and a lot of these links are down in the description, so if you want to just hit those up and just click on them and follow them through, that's another way of getting there. Also, we're at 1,300 subscribers. Woo! We're this close to 10,000, but small milestones first. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers, and then we will continue our road building toward that 10,000 milestone. That is going to be pretty awesome for this channel, my humble channel. So yeah, that's all I have for you on this outro. It's a bit of a long one, but a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time.